So this is something that a lot of people ask for, an oil-free, gluten-free sourdough bread. It took me a little time to make it, but I've done it and you'll love it. And today, I'm going to show you how to make your own. All right, so I'm excited to share this recipe with you. I got this request over and over again, took some time, but now we're gonna do healthy vegan sourdough bread. Let's talk about the ingredients we're gonna use to make it. So for the flour, I'm using millet flour. You could use a different flour, but I'm going with millet flour. Gonna use some arrowroot powder. We're gonna use some psyllium husk, some date syrup, some water, and then our sourdough starter. Now the starter is just a combination of equal parts water and your flour, and you're gonna let it ferment for about 10 to 14 days. You're gonna feed it every day, cover it with a cheesecloth. Now it's not that complicated, but I'm gonna explain it in detail in the recipe. So in the recipe, in the descriptions below the video, you will find the details for exactly how to go about getting your starter ready. Now, you'll notice that I have a scale here. Now, most of the time when I do recipes, I don't have a scale sitting here, and that's to let you know that with a recipe like this, precision is very important. And so instead of just giving you a measurement like I typically do, I weighed everything for this recipe, and I suggest that you do that too. Now, this scale that I have I bought years ago, I honestly don't remember the price, but I think it was in the $20 to $30 range. If you're gonna, make this recipe and love it and make it over and over again, very small investment for what you can do with it, which is make lots of healthy vegan sourdough. So I suggest getting a scale, and I will be offering the measurements in weight today. So that's why I wanted to have this here. Okay, very simple ingredients. We're gonna start putting this together and you're gonna love it. Healthy vegan sourdough bread. Let's start doing it. All right, so the first step is I'm gonna take my active sourdough starter that I talked about just a second ago. I'm gonna make a pre-ferment. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take precisely 10 grams of the active sourdough starter, and I'm gonna add some millet flour and some water and then get them mixed. And I'm gonna use my scale to make sure that I get exactly 10 grams.
So once I have my active sourdough starter measured out, I'm going to add the millet flour and water that I've already measured, get it mixed really well, cover it with a cheesecloth, and set it aside to ferment.
Okay, now this looks perfect. As you can see, it's really, grown in size, probably double the size. You can see cracks, and that just indicates that it is active and it's ready to go. It's ready to add to our other ingredients to make this bread. So this is exactly where we want it. Now, I've had mine sitting for about 6 hours. You could even do it overnight. The cooler it is in your environment, the longer it takes. So it really, you have to kind of adjust it to where you are. But, at least 6 hours, I would say. You could do it overnight, as I said, but 6 hours is what I did here, and this looks perfect. Let's move to our next step. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by mixing my water and my psyllium husk, and then I'm gonna add my date syrup and get that mixed.
Now you'll notice that I already have my water and my psyllium husk measured out for the purpose of this video, but I wanted to make sure to get all of the date syrup into my mixture. But since it's hard to scrape it all out of a measuring spoon, I'm measuring it directly into my mixing bowl.
Okay, so now I have that set aside. Now it's time to mix my millet flour and my arrowroot.
Now, as I've said before, I'm using millet flour, but this recipe can also be made using other flours like sorghum, which I've tried, or even a combination of millet and sorghum.
Okay, so now I've got my dough mixed and I've got it about where I want it. You want it to be moist and a little sticky. You don't want it to be too wet, but by no means do you want it to be too dry. As you can see here, it looks just about perfect. So we're gonna go to our next step. All right, so now that I've mixed my dough by hand, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna fold it a little bit more. And I'm just gonna take and bring the sides in and kind of fold them to the middle. And I'm just gonna rotate the bowl and do this.
If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below.
Okay, so now I have my dough ready to do my first proofing. Now I'm gonna get it covered and I'm gonna set it aside. It's gonna take about an hour or two. I'll check it to see when it's ready. Now again, depending on the environment in your home, if your house is particularly cold, it'll take a little longer, and if it's particularly warm, it'll take a little less time. But generally about an hour or two, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna set it aside now. All right, so now I've had my dough proofing for a little over 2 hours now, and it's looking like it's ready. Now I want to show you that one of the indicators that your dough is good is that it starts to form air pockets underneath. And this is one of the reasons it's so important to have a glass bowl. You don't want to do this in a bowl that's not transparent where you can't see through it. Because if you look at the bottom here, you can see where the air pockets has formed all through the dough. And that lets you know that the fermentation process has been underway and it's where you want it to be. So with that, we will now move to our next step.
All right, so I'm going to start by lightly dusting my surface with some millet flour. Then I'm going to gently remove my dough from the bowl and place it on my surface. Next, I'm going to fold the furthest end towards me to the middle and then fold the furthest end towards me a second time so the seam is now under the dough. Lastly, I'm going to gather and tuck my dough while creating tension with my hands to form a round ball. And now that that's done, I'm ready to place it in a lightly floured cotton-lined proofing basket and lightly dust the top. Now I'm going to cover the basket with a cotton cloth and place it in a bag in a warm place to proof for a couple of hours.
I hope you're enjoying the sourdough recipe. For those of you who want a bread that's a little more straightforward, I have some great options in my Make Your Own cookbook. For example, I have my high protein quinoa loaf here, which is just delicious and really straightforward to make. And I also have one of my absolute favorites, which is my delicious cinnamon raisin bread. Both of these breads are done healthy vegan style, no oil, no wheat, no refined sugar. They're gluten-free. My Make Your Own cookbook will be available in just a matter of days. If you haven't pre-ordered already, then you can go ahead and do so. And keep in mind, when you pre-order, you also get 4 free ebooks with over 50 healthy vegan recipes you can download today and start making. If you want to order the book, look in the description below the video for the details, or simply go to the web address on your screen and get the book and start making your own.
Okay, so you'll know that your dough is done proofing when it's puffed up about 30% and is slightly jiggly. You'll then gently turn it out of the basket and place it on a piece of parchment paper. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below.
All right, as you can see, this looks really, really good. Now it's just a matter of getting it scored. And to do that, I'm going to use my bread raiser here, and then we'll get it into the Dutch oven.
Okay, so now I'm scoring the loaf with an X about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. Then I'm going to take my preheated Dutch oven out of the regular oven and carefully place the loaf into the Dutch oven and then get it back into my regular oven.
All right, so now I've got my bread in the Dutch oven. Now I'm just going to get it in the regular oven and give it a bake and see how it turns out. All right, so now I've cooked it halfway through. I'm going to remove my lid, get it back in the oven, and cook it again for the same amount of time. Guys, this is looking great right now. I think we're going to get a good result.
All right, so now that my bread is done baking, I'm going to carefully remove it from my Dutch oven and get it onto my cooling rack, and I'm going to let it completely cool before cutting.
All right, so now my sourdough has cooled and it is ready to cut. Now I've had this cooling for about 5 hours. Now, one thing that I really want to stress, it is imperative that you let this bread completely cool. And I'm saying 5 hours plus, and I know the idea of a nice warm piece of sourdough is so tempting, but with gluten-free baking in particular, it is very important that you let the bread completely cool. Even with my millet loaves and my quinoa loaf in my book, you want to be very, very deliberate to let that bread completely cool. All right, I've done that, so now let's cut it and see what we have.
All right, and there you have it, a beautiful, freshly baked, healthy vegan sourdough loaf.
All right, so I have sliced the bread. The slices look nice. This is a really nice loaf of bread. Now, I do want to remind you that, making sourdough bread in general requires a little more nuance than regular bread making, but particularly when you're making a sourdough that's gluten-free. it can be challenging. And, it took me quite a few tries to get it just right. So if you're deciding to make this bread, just know there's a learning curve. You might make some mistakes. You're going to make some mistakes, but that's okay. It'll get better, particularly when you're proofing your bread, because you don't get a significant rise like you do with a dough that does include gluten. It's kind of hard to know exactly when it's right, but you'll get it. Stay with it, and I'm going to try to be very detailed in my instructions with the recipe. So go for it. And of course, if you have questions, you can always ask me in the comments. All right, let's give it a taste. Now, I will say that the best way to have gluten-free bread, in my opinion, is to lightly toast it, which is what I would typically do here. Also, keep in mind that I'm using millet flour, and millet flour can have a bit of just a kind of a bitter taste to it, but it's very subtle, and it doesn't bother me at all. But if you're not used to it, it may stand out more. So toasting it helps to minimize that too. Also, keep in mind, though, that you could use this recipe with other flours if you prefer not to use millet. That's really good. Has that nice sourdough taste. Texture is excellent, nice and light. Again, if you're not used to millet bread, you might want to toast it a little bit first, but this is an excellent sourdough bread. You can use other flours if you prefer, but either way, you definitely want to do this. Remember, there is a learning curve, but you can get it, and you can definitely make your own. All right, if you're new to my channel and you're wondering how to find the recipes, look below the video and tap on the word more, and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more a second time, and you'll see the full recipe, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.